Hey everyone, my name is Riley, and in this video I will be showing you step by step how to create a blog on WordPress. No matter if you want to create a food blog, a travel blog, a fitness blog, a finance blog, no matter what type of blog you want to create, you will be able to create that blog using this video. Don't worry, everything in this video is completely free. We will only be using free software, and I am not going to sell you a course. I am not holding anything back, and everything in this video is everything that you will need in order to build your WordPress blog. The design of this blog will be very simple and clean. We have a logo and a navigation menu for the header. We then have a simple but effective piece of text to introduce the website with a banner image that stretches the entire screen. We also showcase the latest blog posts that we can hover over and click into to access any of these blog posts. We also have a newsletter at the bottom of the homepage that people can sign up for and enter into your email list. The blog page sticks with the minimalist and clean design, and scrolling down will show you all of the current blogs that we have going. We then also have a contact page, which includes a contact us form, as well as a talk to us button where people can email you and also follow you on social media. Finally, we have this about us section, which shows an image of you, as well as an introductory section to you and your blog. So once you have either clicked on the link in the description or you have gone to geforcenorth/recommends/hostinger, you should be taken over to this screen right here. Right now they have a Black Friday sale on. Now depending on when you are watching this, they likely will not have this exact deal. However, they usually do have some kind of promotion and some kind of discount that you can get. So all we are going to do is scroll down here, and as we can see, we have premium, we have business, and we have cloud startup for all of the hosting options. Now, the one that we are going to go for is the business plan. The reason is because with the premium, what I have found is when installing certain plugins and just using the features that we need to use on WordPress when building your blog, is premium can sometimes be a little bit slow when we are building things out and customizing the pages, and it often results in progress being lost when we have to refresh the page. So I recommend business. This is what I have found works the best. Cloud startup can be a little bit overkill with what we need this for, so I would recommend business. So we are just going to click on add to cart right here. And this is going to take us through to this complete section. The 48 months is going to be automatically selected. Obviously, this is the best deal for if you know for a fact that you are going to be using your blog for the next 4 years. You can also go with the 24 months, the 12 months, or the 1 month, and the value for money with each of these is going to go down slightly. Now, to start out, I would always recommend going for 12 months. The reason being is you can see a massive price difference between the monthly and the 12 months, and we also get a free domain in the first year. So with this 12-month plan, if we go down, we can see the total is going to be around $50. Now, to compare this to the 1-month plan, we can go here and we can see this is going to be about $15 for the first month, but we would also need to buy a domain, which is usually going to cost around $15 for the year. So for the monthly plan, we are paying $30. For 12 months, we are paying $50, so it is just a much better value. So we can go for the 12 months right here, and then all you need to do is enter in your email address and create a password for your Hostinger account. Go down and then fill out this payment information. Click on Submit Secure Payment, and that is how you can buy your hosting. Once you have purchased your hosting, it should take you through to this screen. So all we need to do from here is it's going to ask what is your website type. So we obviously want to click on blog. And then it's going to ask if you want to create or migrate a website. Now, as this video is about creating a blog, we are of course going to want to go for create a new website. So we can click on select. And then it's going to ask to select a platform. Now we are of course going to go with WordPress. I have tried this out, this Hostinger builder, and it just isn't the best. It is nowhere near as good as WordPress. So let's go ahead and click into WordPress right here. From here, we now need to create a WordPress account. So earlier on in the video, we created a Hostinger account. Now this account is specifically for WordPress. By default, it's going to enter in the same email that we signed up with Hostinger for. This will be your WordPress administrator email. And you can also go ahead and change this to another email if you like. From here, we just then need to go ahead and create a password. And once that password has been entered, we can click on continue. It's then going to ask if we want any plugins for the website. Now, we are going to add plugins later. However, all of these are pretty unnecessary and they are just going to take up storage within WordPress. So to make sure that WordPress is sleek, it loads fast and everything like that, we just want to go ahead and click skip. I will manage plugins later. And then it's going to ask us to pick a template. Now, we have a few different templates right here. The one that I always use and the one that I would highly recommend is Astra. So just go to Astra and click on select right here. And that is going to install the Astra theme. It is also going to ask us to connect a domain. So if you already have a domain that you would like to connect, we can click on use an existing domain. Or alternatively, if you haven't got a domain, you can either buy a domain if you went with the monthly plan, or you can choose a domain for free if we went with the yearly. Now you can see here that for me, it is asking me to buy a domain, even though I recommended going for the yearly plan. And the reason for this is I went for a monthly plan just because this is a tutorial and I will not be using this website after this tutorial is done. So here it should say something like claim a domain or get your domain. So we can click on select and then enter in the domain that you would like to get. For this, I'm going to keep this nice and simple and just use my name. However, your domain is going to want to be something that refers to your blog. If you do not yet have a domain name or you are struggling to think of one, I recommend using this website called ChatGPT. It is completely free to use and it is an AI tool that can help you with a lot of different things. So as an example, I can go in here and say, create me 20 domain names for my travel blog, hit enter. And as you can see, this is going to give me 20 different domains. The only downside to ChatGPT is the fact that even though it gives us domains, some of these might already be taken. So all we would do here is just take this one, for example, put this into Hostinger, and then we can take a look if this domain is actually available. So this one right here, Trek Tripper, is already taken. That would have been a fantastic domain. So let's try another one. Let's go for Wayfarer Whisperer right here. We can paste this in. And then as you can see, this domain is available. And if you chose the yearly plan or above, you will be able to claim this domain for free. Just click on claim and then you will be able to connect this to your Hostinger site. Once you have done that, you will then be taken over to this screen where Hostinger is now linking up to WordPress to make sure that these two are integrated. Once that is finished, you can see that we are then taken over to the screen and we have a few different options. Now, before we go into WordPress, we do need to go into this control panel just to check a few things. So go to control panel right here and click on manage site. And this will take you over to the Hostinger dashboard for your specific domain. Now, the first thing that we are going to do is just go over to this section on the left-hand side, open up security, and then click here into SSL. Now, as you can see, this is automatically installed. I just got a notification there, but we need to make sure that this is active. If not, just go ahead and activate this, as having SSL is super important. SSL is this little padlock that shows up right here that shows the connection is secure. Now, if you don't have this, then when people try to access your website, Google Chrome will give them a message that looks like this, that says, hey, this is probably a scam, you don't want to visit this website. So it's super important that we make sure that SSL is active. The second thing that we need to do is just go back to dashboard, then go over here to daily backups and click into manage. Right now, you can see that these are disabled. We don't have any daily backups. And this is something extra. You do not have to add this if you don't want. But the amount of times that backups have pretty much saved my life when I have installed a plugin or I have done something to my site, it has ruined the entire thing. And then because I had backups, I can go to the previous day and restore my entire website rather than having to build it all from scratch. Now to add backups, we can click on Add Daily Backups. And then you can see it's only going to be $2 per month. So we can just click on Complete Payments and that will install your backups. From here, we can just click back into the dashboard. And now we are going to go into WordPress and actually start building the site. So to do this, we just want to click on Admin Panel over here on the right hand side. And that is going to redirect us over to our WordPress admin area. Now to get super easy access back to this website at any time, rather than having to go through Hostinger, log in with Hostinger, then go through the panel and then get to WordPress, what we can do is just go over to the WordPress admin panel. And then in the search bar at the top, just go ahead and delete everything here. So we just have your domain /WordPress-admin. Go ahead and click enter. And this will take us over to the main WordPress admin. So all we need to do from here is simply go ahead and bookmark this tab. So I'm just going to call this WordPress Dashboard, just like this. And then save this to my main bookmarks bar and hit done. And then this makes it super easy because anytime I now want to access my WordPress dashboard, I have a bookmark that takes me straight here. Before we jump into actually designing and creating the website, for most of you watching, this is probably the first time that you have seen this WordPress dashboard and it can look a little bit confusing. So I'm just going to go over all of the key elements of this WordPress dashboard so that you can navigate it easily. So to start out, at the top of banner here, we have your domain. Now you can click on your domain to access your website at any time. And as you can see, my website right now is blank because we have not made any changes. This button you can click and this is going to show you all of the updates for any of the plugins or overall WordPress that you can access. So as we can see, we are currently on this version of WordPress and anytime we need to update it, it will be shown here. We can access any comments on your blogs by clicking on here. They do give us an example of this, so it will show up with the author's name. Show the comment right here. And then we have a few different options where we can unapprove the comment, we can reply to the comment, we can edit the comment, report this as spam, or put this in the trash. We can also add new posts, media, pages, and users by using this button at the top. This is something that we will come back to later. Now, down the side, we have Hostinger. Now, I never really use this. It's kind of redundant, so we can just almost forget that this is there. Then we can access the main WordPress dashboard right here. Under posts, this is where we are going to create the blog posts later. So we can view all of the posts that we have. We can create a new post here. Look into the categories that we have and tags. So once again, I will cover all of these later on. Media, this is where we can view all of the media that we have on the WordPress site, as well as uploading new media. Pages is where we can view the pages that we currently have on the site or add new ones. Comments we have already looked into. Then we have Astra. Now, if you remember, this is the theme that we installed earlier. So this is something that we are definitely going to take a deep dive into. Then appearance, once again, I don't really touch this too much. Plugins, where we can view all of the plugins that we have, add new plugins, and then edit the files. Users, this is where we can add different users to your WordPress site. If you have employees or you are working with somebody else to set this up, you can give access to different people so that they can work on the site as well. And then we have tools, which once again, I don't really use, and then settings. Now, settings is super important, and this is where we are going to start off. So hover over settings and then click into general, and it is going to take you over to this page. Now, what we want to do is just scroll down to the WordPress address and the site address. And then right here where it says HTTP, just add an S at the end of both of these. This is going to make sure that the SSL certificate that we installed earlier is active. So we can go down and save these. And now if we go ahead and open up this site, we can see that this is now secure and we now have a secure connection. The only other thing that we need to do in settings is once again open up settings, go down to permalinks right here. And then in permalinks, we are going to change from custom structure to post name. The reason that we do this is for each of your blog posts. Let's say I created a blog post on Rome. With the post name, this is now going to say rileyholden.com/Rome. Instead of having a bunch of random numbers and letters after it that looks something like this. So super important we have this as post name and then save changes. Now we have done most of the boring backend stuff that we need to actually do to go ahead and create the site. So now let's jump into actually creating the site, creating the homepage, and getting blog posts in there. So the first thing that we are going to do is install a plugin so that we have awesome templates that basically do all of the heavy lifting for us. And all we have to do is customize that site instead of building an entire website from scratch, which is super hard as a beginner. So what we are going to do here is just go to plugins on the left hand side and click on add new plugin right here. This is going to take us over to the WordPress plugin dashboard. So just scroll down and then on the right hand side, you should see this bar that says search plugins. In here, we just want to go ahead and search for starter templates, just like this. And then if we go ahead and enter, this is the one that we want. So this is the icon that you should be looking for right here by Brainstorm Force. And then we can just go ahead and install this. This will take a few seconds to go ahead and install. And as you can see, this is now installed. Once that is installed, it should automatically activate. If it does not automatically take you over to this screen, just click on activate and you should be taken over to this screen. From here, we then have 3 different options for page builders. We want to go with Elementor as it is by far the best. And then once we choose Elementor, this is where we can see all of the templates that we can use. Now, some of these will say premium in the top right corner. This obviously means that you will have to pay extra for these. However, because in this tutorial, we are doing this completely free, we will only be using these free templates. So we want to go to the top here, and in this top search bar, search for Earth. Now, no matter what type of blog you are building, whether you are creating a food blog, a travel blog, a make money online blog, any type of blog that you are creating, we always want to go for this Planet Earth template right here, as it is by far the best and most versatile for any blog. If I just go ahead and click into this, so it's Planet Earth right here, I can click in. And then as you can see, this is the template right here. So we have this main section to start off with. Then if we scroll down, we have this section. This is where we are going to put all of the latest blog posts. Scrolling down, we then have an About Us section and also this Talk to Us section, which we will once again transform into something completely different. Now, once you have selected the Planet Earth template, the first thing that it is going to ask is it is going to ask you to upload a logo. So if you already have a logo, fantastic. You can just enter that logo in here, click on upload file and upload your logo. However, if you do not yet have a logo, then no worries. I will show you exactly how we can create a fantastic logo and upload it to the site. So for now, we are just going to click skip and continue. And then from here, we can go ahead and choose these fonts and colors. So the first section that we have is to change colors for the site. So if we click down here, we can see that whatever color palette we go for, this is going to change the color for the entire site. So for mine, I am building a travel blog. I'm actually going to stick with these main colors up here. And then we can also go down and change the font. So we can click through here and just take a look at these. I'm actually going to just stick with the main font that comes with this. And then once this has been selected, just click on continue. It's then going to take us over to this screen where it says, okay, just one last step. And we actually do not need to fill this in. So although it asks for information, we can just leave this blank. I usually do. And then down here, just uncheck share non-sensitive data. There is just no reason to share this. And then we can click submit and build my site. From here, it's then going to go ahead and build the site for you. And usually this takes around about 30 seconds. As you can see, my website is now ready, and this only took around 25 seconds to build, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, once you have this, we can then go ahead and click on view your website. And just like that, we now have the full website that we are able to customize. Now, to run you through this, each website is made up of 3 sections. We have this section at the top where you can see the logo and all of these other sections and pages right here. This section is called the header. Then everything in between is the main bulk of the website, everything that we are going to customize. And then at the bottom here, this white banner is called the footer. Now, the way that we edit the header and the footer and the main section of the website are a little bit different. So first of all, we are going to just concentrate on editing the main bulk of the site. So we just want to go in here and click on edit with Elementor here at the top. And this is going to take us over to the Elementor editor. So we can just click on X up here and exit out of this. And then as you can see, we can now go ahead and edit each section. Over on the right hand side, you will notice that we have this navigation menu that we can move around to anywhere. So we can leave this floating where we can move this around, or we can simply clip it to the side of the site so it stays static right here. I prefer to just have this at the side right here. And you can see this navigation menu is made up of 4 different sections. So this top section shows all of this section right here. If I just highlight this, you can see this highlights the entire section. This second section is this area right here between these pink lines. The third section is the area between these pink lines. And then the fourth section is the area between these pink lines. So if I just show you, let's go ahead and open up this section right here. You can see that this is made up of 3 different columns. And then inside each column is this image that's highlighted in pink, the heading, and then the text editor. So that is an overview of the navigator right there. If you do not yet fully understand this, don't worry, you will get a much better understanding as we go throughout this video, and I am going to walk you through all of this step by step. So that is the navigator, and then the main control panel is actually here on the left hand side. So for example, if I click into Earth right here, we can see it highlights this heading on the navigation menu. And then over on the left hand side, this is where we can actually edit this. So in here, where it says Earth, I can change this to hello. And as you can see, that is going to update on my site. We can then go into the style right here. If we want to change the color, we can go into text color, for example, and change this to a different color. And as you can see, that is going to update in real time on my site. Now, if you make a mistake on your site, for example, if you delete something that wasn't meant to be deleted, or even you move something where it wasn't meant to be moved, you have 2 options. So you can either click Ctrl-Z on your keyboard if you are on Windows, or Command-Z if you are on Mac, and that is going to take you back and undo your last action. What we can also do is, if I just delete this section right here, is we can go down to History. It's like this little clock icon in the bottom left corner. We can open this up and then we can just go back to previous elements that we had here. So as you can see, this is the heading removed. I can go back and now that heading is going to be back. So that is just a very brief summary of how we can go ahead and actually use this WordPress editor. But now let's jump into actually designing and changing around this website so that we can create a beautiful blog. So the first thing that we are going to do is go ahead and change this background image right here. So what we need to do is just go to section, click on this first section right here in the navigator. Then on the left hand side, go over to style, and you should see the image right here. Now, to actually get images to use on your WordPress website, I recommend using this website right here called Pexels. If we go ahead and click into this right here, Pexels is a free to use website, and all of the photos and videos on here are completely copyright free. So as an example, I can go in here, and as my website is about traveling, I will type in hiking. And then as you can see, we have all of these images right here that I can use on my WordPress site for completely free. So I'm actually going to try out a few of these. What you will find when creating different banners and different sections for your website is it is more about trying a few different images to see what vibes with the website and kind of what looks good. So I'm actually going to download this as well. And then let's get one more just to try out. Let's go for this one as well. Now, once you have a few images that you want to try out for your banner, what we can do is go into image right here, click on choose image, and then go ahead and drop these files in. So I can click select files, and then just go ahead and grab these from my computer right here. And then as you can see, these are now going to load in. The first one that I am going to try is this one. So I just select this image, click on select, and then as you can see, this is now going to load into the site. Now, I think this could potentially work if we have a bit of an overlay, which I will show you later, but I'm just going to go ahead and test out these other two. So just like this, I cycled through about 5 images before I found this one that I am actually happy with. It's a beautiful image and you can see the text very clearly here. So as this is kind of like the main section that people will be met with when they come to your website, it is a very good idea to spend a little bit of time and just make sure that the image here is pretty much perfect. So once you have that image, we can now go ahead and start customizing this. So I'm just going to grab this earth text right here and change this to be the name of my blog, which is going to be Wayfair Whisperer. Then endless potential, I actually quite like this, so I'm just going to leave this as it is. However, if you have a food blog, you might want to go ahead and change this tagline right here. Don't forget about the tool that we talked about earlier called ChatGPT. Once again, it can help you out in this section. For example, even if I wanted to do this for my hiking blog or my traveling blog, I should say, I can say, create me a slogan for my travel blog. And just like this, explore beyond your boundaries, your passport to endless adventures. And then if I want, I can go ahead and just copy this into my site. However, I quite like this endless potential, so I'm going to leave this as it is. So if I now take a look at this, we now have the title, we have the background image, a slogan, and then this button, we will actually link to do something later on. But for now, we can just leave this. Now from here, we are just going to scroll down and let me open up this menu option here again. And this is where we are going to add all of our latest blog articles. Now, what people will usually do when they are kind of linking blog posts like this on their blog is they will just go straight through and start adding the title in here. So I could say something like best date nights in Rome. And then I would just add in my image right here, add a little bit of text, and then simply on this left-hand side, I could add in a link so that when people click this, they are taken over to that blog post. However, there is a way that is much easier and makes your site look a lot more professional. So instead of doing all of this, what we are going to do is just leave this section as it is for now. Click on update in this bottom left corner to make sure the site is saved. And then all we need to do is just open up a new tab and go back to our WordPress dashboard that we bookmarked earlier. Now I'm actually going to go ahead and just exit out of a few of these screens right here, a few of these tabs so that I don't get confused. Okay, we can leave that one. And yes, okay, cool. So just make sure you are back on your WordPress dashboard, and we are going to install a new plugin. So to do this, we once again want to go to plugins on this left-hand side and click add new plugin right here. Once the WordPress plugins dashboard opens up, we just want to go to this search box right here and search for the post grid, just like this. And then once this loads up, we want to go for this one right here, the post grid by radius theme. So just click on install now, and that is going to go ahead and install. And then once that is installed, just click on this button to activate this. And it will then take us over to this page. Now from here, we don't need to go ahead and change anything. Just click on save changes here at the bottom. And then as you can see, these settings were successfully updated. So now if we go back over to the main WordPress editor that we were in before, where we made all of these changes, once again, just make sure your site is fully updated, and then we can go ahead and hit refresh. Once we have refreshed, we can see that we now have the post grid right at the top here. So if we just scroll down to this section, all we want to do is make sure this is highlighted, click on delete right here, and that is going to delete that entire section. Once that section is deleted, it will then bring this section up. So you should now see this About Us section. So just go ahead and hover over this, click on this plus icon, and then this is going to bring in this empty section. All we have to do from here is go to this one, TPG grid layout, and drag this in. Just like that, you can see it's going to bring up this section right here, and this is going to show all of the blog posts that we have. However, right now, we do not have any blog posts, so this is just going to look absolutely terrible like it does, but trust me, later on, when we actually create the blog posts for our site, we will come back to this and you will see just how incredible this looks. Now, there is a few different things that we need to do on this left-hand side to do with the settings and everything like this. But let's just leave this for now, and we can come back to this once we actually have blog posts in here so that we can do this in real time. So as I say, this can look pretty terrible right now, but just trust me, this is absolutely going to pay off. Scrolling down, the next section is an About Us section. Now, you absolutely can go ahead and fill this in, create an About Us section right here. However, I prefer to make this a little bit longer and actually have this as a specific page where people can go and read about you or about the blog. So I don't really like to have this here. So once again, I'm just going to go ahead and click on this X button to delete this. And then we will be left with this section that says Talk to Us. Now, we want to leave this section. However, we are going to turn this into something completely different. And this is where we are going to be able to collect people's emails so that we can go ahead and email them later down the line. And this is one of the best ways that we can monetize this blog and actually be able to make money from this. So what we want to do is, first of all, just go to this button right here, click into this section, and then over on the navigation menu, we can right click and then delete this. And then over here on this Elementor menu, we want to click into search widget and just search for WP. And you should see WP forms. So we can just go ahead and drag this in underneath here. So it's just under the text. And then you can see we now have this WordPress forms builder. So over on the left-hand side where we can edit these WordPress forms, we want to go ahead and click on new form right here. And then it says enter your form name. So let's just go ahead and title this email form. And then scroll down and we want a newsletter sign up right here. So we just want to click on use template. And right here, we will be brought over to the template builder where we can go ahead and start customizing this. Now, I do like to ask for the name of the person who is signing up so that I can personalize emails to them. However, I think asking for a last name can sometimes scare people off a little bit, so I definitely do not like to do this. So all I'm going to do is just go to name right here and then click to edit in this corner. And then as you can see in this name field, the format is currently first and last. So I'm just going to open this up and go for simple. And as you can see, that is just going to ask for their name. So once that is done, we have the name and the email on this form. Just click on save right here, and then we can back out. And just like that, we now have a form. Once this has been added in, we can just go to this text right here and change this from saying talk to us to saying newsletter, just like that. And then I also like to change this text to something a little bit shorter, just like this. Subscribe to my newsletter for the latest blog posts, tips, and travel guides. And maybe align this just like that to the left. So this right here, although it looks pretty empty right now because we do not have any blog posts, this is going to be the main homepage. So all we have to do now is click on update. And then once that is updated, the next thing that we are going to do is really bring this blog to life by adding in some blog pages. So once again, we just want to open up a new tab, go to the WordPress dashboard, and be brought over to the main WordPress dashboard right here. Now, the first thing that we are going to do is actually create some blog posts. So to do this, we just want to go over to posts on this left-hand side. And then first of all, click into all posts. And you can see that we do have one post right here. And this is automatically there by default by WordPress. So if I actually go ahead and take a look at my site, you can see Hello World is the default one that is added here. And that is because Hello World is in my blog post. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and move this to the trash. And then to actually make sure this is deleted, we also want to go to trash. And then once again, click on empty. Once you have got rid of this, let me actually just get rid of these as well. They're pretty annoying. Okay, cool. Now, when we create these new blog posts, I would highly recommend that you just follow along with exactly what I do in this video. You don't go ahead and start actually creating your blog posts now in terms of sitting down and typing out the blog posts, because blog posts usually take a few hours to actually create and finish. It would be a better idea to just, as I say, copy exactly what I do and then finish the actual blog posts later. So what I would recommend to do is just go up to posts at the top, and then with this button where it says add a new blog post, go ahead and right click on this and then click where it says open link in new tab. Then you want to go ahead and do this 9 times. So we have 9 different blogs that are open. So right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so just like that, you can see that I now have 9 brand new blog posts that I can go ahead and customize. So what we want to do here is just go ahead and open up a new tab. And then go over to ChatGPT, which is the website we talked about earlier. In here, I'm going to say, create me 9 blog titles for my WordPress blog. And what I would recommend is, even if you are doing a food blog or a make money online blog, you just copy these titles right here. And then, as I say, we can go ahead and change these and customize them later on. So I'm going to go through here and just paste each of these different titles into each of these pages so that each page now has a different title. To make this more effective for you, what I will do is make a Google document that I will put down in the description so that you can just go ahead and copy these titles and put them straight into your blog articles. Once you have added a different title to all of these different 9 pages, I have asked ChatGPT to create me a blog article, and I'm just going to put this exact same blog article in each of these different pages. So once again, in that Google Doc that I will leave down below, I will leave this exact blog article so that you can just come in here and paste this into each of these blog articles right here, just so that we have some filler content. So if you followed along, we should now have 9 pages that have different titles, but have the exact same blog content. Once you have done all of this, the final thing that we need to do for each of these articles is just go to featured image on this right hand side and then set a featured image for each of these. I will go ahead and grab these images now and once again upload them to that document so you can simply save these images and place them in the featured section of each article. So as you can see, this one is about Rome. I set the Rome image right here. So I'm just going to go through and add these other ones. So once again, I just go in here, featured image, and then I will add the Paris image that is in the document beneath this video. Okay, so once we have added all of these different featured images in, we simply need to just go back and hit publish in the top right corner of each of these. So we can go in here and just view any of these posts. And you can see that this already looks awesome. So those are the blog posts. As I say, we can go back at any time. And when you actually start designing your posts, you can just go in here, delete everything that is in and write out your actual blog article. However, if we now go back over to the main website and scroll down, you can see that these blog posts have been added in. And this already looks fantastic. However, we do want to go ahead and make a few changes just to clean this up, get rid of some of these elements that we don't need. So to do this, we want to once again go to edit with Elementor. And then from here, we just want to scroll down and select this section. Now, I prefer layout 1, but feel free to go for any of these other layouts. So I'm going to stick with layout 1, then go into settings. For the post excerpt, we want to turn this off. The metadata, we also want to go ahead and turn this off. And then we also want to turn off the section title. So we can go ahead and turn that off. And we are going to add in a new section title. We just want to get rid of the default one. So all that should be left on is the title, the thumbnail, and this read more button. What you can also do is, I don't personally like doing this, but you can go to this read more section and change this from a button to just text. And you can also change what this says. Now we are going to go into style, and then under the post title, this is the title for each of these posts. And the first thing that I am going to do is change this from normal to hover and change the title color on hover. As you can see, if I hover over this right now, it changes to this blue color, and this just doesn't match the website at all. So what I'm going to do is just take this main green color right here. And the way that I do this is using this extension called eyedropper. This is a free Chrome extension, and once again, I will leave the link in the description. But we just click pick color from website, choose the color, and then we can go here and simply copy. And then go down, and then under here, title color on hover, I'm going to change it to this green. Now, as you can see, it changes to that green color. And actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to change my mind here and instead go for this color. And we can copy and paste it. And let's have a look now. Okay, that looks a lot better. The next thing that I'm going to do is just change the size of these titles to make them a little bit bigger. So I want to go into the typography, and then with the size, let's move this up a little bit. That is way too big. Maybe something like 25. Okay, cool. And then what you will notice is with these read more buttons, right now they are not aligned. We have one down here, one up here, one down here, and we want them all to be at the same level. So to do this, you can see this section that says title minimum height. Just go ahead and crank this up, and eventually these will move down, and they will all move down together. At the point they all move together, we can just leave this right there. And these are all now aligned. From here, we are just going to change the hover color for read more. So go to read more, hover, and then text color hover. We will change this to the same green as before. And then as you can see, okay, so this box behind is still blue. So we can go to the border color and change that to the same green. And just like that, this all now looks beautiful. So when you hover over the images, they zoom in a little bit. If you hover over the text, it changes to green. And the same with these read more buttons. So at this point, we have now designed the entire homepage. We also have these buttons that you can click into read more. If I just go ahead and actually pull up this website, I will show you. People can click into read more and it will take them over to the blog article. So the final thing that I am going to do here is we just want to add some text above this that says latest blog articles or something like this. So we just want to go back to the main Elementor editor, grab a heading and drag this in. And then I'm going to change this to say latest blog post. And then align this in the center. And that looks fantastic. So right now we effectively have the entire homepage that is taken care of. We have these blogs. Let me actually go and preview so you can see this. We have the latest blog posts where people can click in and be taken to that blog post. And then we also have this newsletter at the bottom. Now the next thing that we need to do is create an actual blog page where all of these blog posts will be shown. So to do this, we just want to back out, make sure everything is saved, and then open a new tab and go back to the WordPress dashboard. So once we are back into the main WordPress dashboard, the first thing that we need to do here is install a new plugin. So to do this, we want to go to plugins on this left-hand side and then add a new plugin. And then in here, we are going to go for unlimited add-ons, just like this. And then the one that we want to grab is this one right here, unlimited elements for Elementor. Just go ahead and click install now. And then once that is installed, we can go ahead and activate this. Once you have activated this, we should then be taken over to this screen right here, where we can see all of the elements that we can get with this add-on. Now, the specific element that we are going to be adding, if we go to the search bar, is called post list. And then you should see post list right here. So just go ahead and install this. And this is now installed to your WordPress. That is the first one. And then we only need to add one more, which is called pagination, just like this. And then as you can see post pagination, we also want to install this. Now, once both of these have been installed, we can then go over here to pages, click on add new page. And let's just go ahead and call this blog post. We can then click on edit with Elementor. And this is going to take us back over to the main Elementor editor. From here, we want to use the plugin that we just added. So we go to search widget here at the top and search for post. And then we can see post list. So just go ahead and drag this in. And then as you can see, all of the blog posts that we just added are now here. Now, this looks terrible right now, so there is a few things that we need to change. Firstly, before we go into any of these, we just want to go back to the main Elementor editor, add in a heading right here, and in here, we just want to say blog posts, just like that. Once that has been added, we can now click back into this area where we can go ahead and start editing these. So from here, let's first of all go ahead and make a gap here. Let's set this to 50, just so they have a little gap in between each. Maybe that's a little bit too much. Let's go for 40 instead. Then the intro number of characters. So this is right here. We can turn this up or down. So for example, we could go for 170 and that's going to give us more. Or we could go for 50 and that is going to show us less. So I'm going to keep it as it was, go for like 100 right here. From here, we can then close this down and go into layout. We can then choose if we want to show image. Of course, we want to do this. We can also choose if we want to show any text, which once again, I would recommend. So let's just leave this as it is. We can then close that down. There is nothing that we need under layout. So let's go down to posts query right here. And then in here, we can actually select the maximum number of posts it shows per page. So right now this is 10, and I think each of these is a little bit too small. So let's change this to 5. And as you can see, it's now only going to show 5 of these posts down here. And then if we go down to post pagination and filtering, we can change this to use pagination widget, which we actually haven't added yet. So leave this as post pagination widget. Then we want to go back to the main editor right here, and we just want to type in pagination. So post pagination right there, we just want to drag this underneath. And as you can see, we now have different numbers for each of these pages. So because we are only showing 5 per page, obviously people will want to scroll through, and they can click on these buttons right here to go through all of these different pages. I like to leave all of these settings as they are. The only thing that I like to change is kind of like this button for which page is selected, and I like to change this to the main color of the site. So we can go over to style, and then down to current page right here. And then for the current page background, we just want to change this to the main color of the website, which I get from my eyedropper tool. Just like that. So now let's go back into the post list. In here, we will go over to style, and this is where we can really start customizing this and making this look absolutely fantastic. So for the item background, it's kind of like this off-white color. I don't really like this. I'm just going to change it to white so that it blends in. Then the item border type, let's add a solid line right here. And then, okay, so make sure these are unlinked. And then I want to add one just for the bottom. Let's go for 2 right here. Make this more of a thick line. We then want to go down to padding and unlink these once again, and just give this a bottom padding of 50. As you can see, that's going to stretch these out quite a lot. So we can close up item. Let's go to image. For the width, we can set this to 400. And for the height, let's set this to 200. Let's try 250. Okay, that looks fantastic. The image radius, this is what gives kind of like rounded corners on these, and I quite like this, so let's keep this at 40 right here. So let's now close down the image, go into title, and in here, I want to go ahead and first of all change the size to 40. And then this line height is way too small, so we can go in here and bump this up quite a bit. I'm just going to set this to 50. And I think everything else looks pretty good there. I'm also going to change the weight here to maybe a little bit more bold, just like that. And this looks absolutely fantastic. So this is the most simple design for our blog posts. If you want to take your site to the next level, I'm going to show you exactly how we can do this by adding in another section at the top. If you are happy with the blog posts as they are, then feel free to skip to this next section. So to take this page to the next level and really give it that next bit of life, what we are going to do is go up to the top here and click to add a new section. This is going to add in a new section at the top. So we want to go to container on this left-hand side and drag a container in. We then have this container automatically selected. So just go to style, and then under background type, select this as classic. It will then ask for an image right here. So go ahead and use pixels and find a new image that you want to add in to this blog post section. I'm just going to go ahead and use one of these default ones. I'm actually going to go with this and click on select. And right now, this is very small. So the first thing that we are going to do is just go to the display size right here and change this from default to cover. And then once that is on cover, go back to the main Elementor section. And the first thing that we want to add in is a spacer. So grab the spacer and drag this in. And then if we move the spacer up and down, you can see that this reveals more of the image. So I'm just going to leave this at like 150 for now. We are going to change this later. Once the spacer has been added, we can go back to the main Elementor screen. And in here, we want to grab a heading. So just drop a heading in here underneath the spacer. If you got this the wrong way around and the header is on top of the spacer, you can grab it on the navigation menu and drag this below. For the heading, I'm just going to say, once again, blog posts. And if you are following along with this section, we can now go ahead where it says blog posts, this heading, and just delete this. So we have the spacer, we have a heading. Let's grab another heading. And in here, we can say, stay on track with our latest blog articles. You just want to put something like a subheading in here. And then the final thing that we are going to add here is another spacer. Now, right now, this looks absolutely terrible, but we are going to completely change this. First of all, click on the main heading section, then go to Style, go down to Typography, and click on this pencil icon. And then we want to change this size to 80. Once you have changed the size, we can then go over to the main website homepage. If you close this down to get access to this, we just go to the WordPress dashboard and then open it up using this in the top corner. And then use the eyedropper tool to simply grab this text color right here. And then we can go back over and in typography, we just want to go ahead and change the text color to the same color, just like that. Then to keep everything in line, what we can do is go back here, highlight this secondary text and take a look at this. So the color is more of a black. We have lightweight and this is 40. So we can click into this, go to style. So the typography, we want to change the weight to light. Then the text size to, I think it was it 30 or 40? 40, okay. So change the size to 40. And then once that is done, we can go back over here into content and just align both of these in the center. From here, we then want to use the spacer tools to fill out the rest of this. So maybe I want to use this from the top, bring this down a little bit, and then go the rest of the way with this spacer right here. Now, as you can see, that looks a lot better. And this is our completed blog post page, as you can see right here. So if we just save all of these changes, and then we go ahead and view this, this is the blog post page right here, where people can come along, click into each of these blog posts, and they will be taken to each individual blog post. The next thing that we are going to edit and create is our About Us page. If we click into About at the top, you can see that our About Us page looks okay. Looks pretty good actually, but we do need to go in here and edit it. So once we are on the About Us page, all we need to do is click on Edit with Elementor here at the top. And that is going to allow us to make changes to this page. Now, depending on the type of blog you are creating, for me, using this as a travel blog, then this banner right here fits perfectly. However, for a lot of people, if you are making a food blog or some other type of blog, you will want to change this. So we can click into this top section right here and then go into style. And then once again, just go ahead and choose this image. Once your image has been selected, we can then move on to this text right here. Now this should be automatically set to the same heading size, the same everything as the rest of the website. So we can either leave this as it is, or we can just change this to say about us or about me. So I'm just going to leave this as about me, and then we can scroll down and start writing this out. So I quite like this where it says our mission, but I'm just going to change this to say my mission. And then in here, we can go ahead and write a little about us section. So I just went ahead and created this little about me section. So just go ahead and fill that in. And right here, we can add in an image. So we can just click on this image, click on choose image. And then I'm going to add this image right here that once again, I got from Pexels. And then if we scroll down, we have this talk to us section, which I'm just going to delete and leave this as the about me page. Once again, we want to click update, and the About Me page is now finished. So with that being said, we are almost finished now, and the final page that we are going to create is this Contact Us page. Once again, this contact form looks absolutely fantastic, but there is just a few things that we need to change. So once again, we will go edit with Elementor here at the top. And then once again, we can click into this section to change the image if you would like to. But for the Contact Us, I will just leave this as Contact Me. And if we scroll down, we can see this section that says Talk to Us. Now this is handy, I just don't see there being much of a use case of it being Talk to Us as a blog. You don't want to add your phone number to a blog, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. So we can just go to phone number right here, right click on this and delete, and then the address as well we can delete. Now this is why it is helpful, because Talk to Us, we can still use this and just go in here and change the email. So I can say like gforcenorth@gmail.com. And then once again, with these follow buttons, we can click into each of these. And then over on the left-hand side, we can click in. And under the links section, we can add in the different links to each of our social media. If you want to add in new social media sections, we can click on Add Item. And then we can go to the icon library to choose which social media we want to add in. For example, I can add in Twitter, even though it is already there. And as I say, just add the link in. So I will just go ahead and delete this, leave this as it is. And then for Get in Touch, I'm going to leave this text as it is. And as you can see, this is a contact form that is pre-built by WordPress forms. Now, the only thing that I want to change here is the phone number. So I'm just going to click in to edit this form and then go to the phone number section and delete this. If you do want to add in anything like multiple choice questions or a captcha or anything, you can absolutely do that here. But I'm just going to click save and then exit. And as you can see, that phone number is now gone. Now, what I will say is looking at this, these look a little bit uneven. So what I am actually going to do is just go ahead and add in an image into this section. So I will just go back over to the main Elementor editor, grab an image right here and drop this in. And then I can choose the image. Let's go for this. And then maybe make this a little bit smaller just so that it fully fits in, just like that. So once we've made that smaller, just so these align, what you will notice is the alignment, we can't move this to the center. It just won't go. So instead, go over to Advanced and uncheck here to link the values together. And then on the right, we just want to minus this until it fully lines up, just like that. Okay, perfect. And just like that, we now also have a Contact Me page as well. So we can update this. And now that is all of the pages of the website done. The only thing that we now need to do is go in and change these navigation menus so that people can get to the blog, they can get to the about, and we get rid of services. And we also need to add and create our own logo. So let's just go over to the home page to do this. And to now edit the header bar right here, instead of going edit with Elementor, we instead need to click on customize. So from here, once this loads up, click into header builder right here, and then we can see the site title and logo. So click into this, and then as you can see, we have the logo and retina logo. So this is basically how it will show up on Apple. So we want to first of all go ahead and turn this off. So we just have this one logo. Now to actually create the logo, the website that I would recommend to do this is this website called Canva. There is a lot of websites out there that you can use to build logos and different things. However, I personally find Canva the best. Now to do this, we will actually need Canva Pro. I think it's like $100 per year. However, as I say, everything in this video is completely free. So you can get a free trial to Canva Pro for 30 days by using the link down in the description. So once you are on Canva and you have now signed up, all we are going to do is click on create a design up here and then go down to the logo option. As soon as you load in, you will see a lot of different logos over here on the left hand side, and you can simply search for whatever type of logo you are creating. If we go for food, we can see a lot of food logos. If I go for travel, which is my niche, we will be able to see a lot of different travel logos. Now you will notice with most of these, but not all, they require Canva Pro. So I'm just going to go down now and choose a logo to create from. So I actually quite like this one. I'm just going to drop this in and then change this to be my title. So I'm just going to go for Wayfarer Whisperer. And then this is way too big. So let's go ahead and spread this out. Maybe something like this. Delete the online agency and then make this nice and big. Then I can move this up a little bit and move these around to make sure these are in the center. And then the final thing that I am going to do is just use my eyedropper tool to make sure that the logo is congruent with the site. So I can go here into document colors and change the color. And then in here, what should we change? So let's go ahead and instead, let's grab this right here, this color, and then copy this. And I will add this into the actual logo. So we could add this either instead of these mountains, which looks okay, or we can try replacing this yellow color with that green. And I like that a lot more. For some reason, I lost my original one. So let's just go back and change this. Okay, and perfect. I now have my logo for my site. So all I'm going to do now is go up to share right here at the top. Maybe I can make these a little bit closer, actually. Just like that. Center. So I will go for share and then download. And then super important that we download this with a transparent background. This is the main reason that we need Canva Pro. And then we can click on download. And then from here, we can now go back to the site, into the logo area, and click on change logo. Then upload files, and I will just go ahead and upload my logo, just like that. And then make sure we have this entire thing. Okay, let's crop these on either side, and then boom. Just like that, you can see my logo is now there. And then I can use this slider along the bottom to change the logo width and everything like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this back to how it was originally. And that is the logo added. Now we can then go down and change the site title. So the site title is what is going to show up right here. So I could maybe change this to just the name of the site. So you can just change this to the name of the site, or you can even add something up here. And then everything else, we are just going to leave as it is. We actually do need to go ahead and add a site icon. And this site icon is like this little thing that you see in the corner of each of these websites. As you can see, I don't have one. It's kind of like a globe now, which is kind of fitting for the website that I'm creating, but not many others. So for this, we just want to go back to the logo, delete the text right here, and then make sure this is spread out just like that. Ideally all the way to each corner. And then center this. And then we can go once again and download this. So I will go back to my site, go for select site icon, and then upload files. Drop this in. And boom, just like that. That is now going to be my site icon, as you can see there. So that is the logo and the icon that is now added. As you can see, if I just shut down all of these other tabs, I now have my site with this beautiful logo added in. The only other thing that we need to add from here is changing this menu to actually fit what we have. So this time we want to go into menus right here. And then we can see that we have the main menu. So click into this. And then right now we have home, about, services, and contact. So just click into services right here, and then we can remove this. The home, about, and contact, we can leave these as they are, and then go down to add items. Once this loads up, you should see under pages, we have the blog post page. So just go ahead and add that in. And then I like to move this about, so blog posts is just after home, just like that. So with this menu, we now have home, blog posts, contact, and about. We then want to go down to the footer right here, and this is the footer. And as you can see, this is the same. We have home, blog posts, contact, and about. However, this logo is the original logo that we had. So we want to go back out of here, back out once again, and this time go into footer builder. And the way that we edit the footer is slightly different. So if we hover over footer, we can see we have all of these different pencil icons. So this pencil icon is going to navigate this logo. So we can click into this, and as you can see, we have the logo in here. So we just want to click on this and then hit delete. And then to add our new logo in, we want to click on add and then go for add media. We can then just grab one of these logos. So I will go for the one without text, insert into post. And then as you can see, this is added in, but way too big. So we just want to go for edit and then change this size to like a thumbnail size. Click on update. And as you can see, that is now a much better size. With this menu, this is absolutely awesome. We can leave this as it is. So the only other thing that we need to edit is just this text right here. And the only thing that we need to do is change the year to the current year, and then change where it says Earth to your blog name, just like that. Once all that is done, we can now back out of this. Now, this looks awesome so far. The final thing that we have to do on the entire website is just check the mobile optimization. So to do this, all we are going to do is back out of this setting right here, and then go back into edit with Elementor. And then once we are in edit with Elementor, you should see a button at the bottom here, once this goes, that says responsive mode. So just click into this, and then you can see we have a desktop view, we have a tablet view. So this is how this is going to look on tablet. And then we also have a mobile view. So looking through this, everything on this page right here looks absolutely fine. Okay, cool. So that is cool. And then let's just go ahead and check some of these other pages. So we can preview changes, then go to blog posts. Once again, go edit with Elementor. Go to the mobile view and just see how this looks. So as you can see right here, this doesn't look the best. So the way that we can edit these is we just need to add in new sections that are specifically for mobile. So stay on the mobile view right here, and this blog post, we'll have a look at it later. So right here, what looks to be causing the problem is this spacer at the top. But I don't want to go ahead and adjust this spacer because on the desktop, it looks fantastic. So instead, what I can do is click into this spacer, and then as you can see, this space has a mobile button next to it. So we can specifically select mobile and then move this down. So the post now looks like this. However, if I go back over to desktop, nothing has changed. So then we can look down at the rest of this, and this all looks awesome. And then we would just go through and check the rest of the pages and make any adjustments that we need to make. So that is how you can build a blog using WordPress. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.